Yo, Ralphie, what's up, buddy?
What's up, man? How you feeling post-election?
I'm okay, dude. I'm just concerned about what's concerning me the most right now is the countries that depended on Donald Trump to stand up against China, because China's a big deal, and people don't understand how big of a
Yeah,
deal it is.
yeah. I think at least they're back on track, right?
No,
With how
I think it's going to get worse because now that Donald Trump isn't
well, no,
standing.
I mean that was sarcasm. Sorry,
Okay. Well, so I'm just
that's sarcasm.
yeah. Nobody know. I just wish people understood how big of a problem this is.
It's huge, mate. Guess what's happening in New Zealand though?
Please tell me.
By February 2021, we will. Well, the banks are starting to promote cashless, so they're all reducing their retail space. Lots of branches. So, you know how the poorest areas have food deserts? I call it food deserts because it's filled with junk food and not real food.
Hmm.
Well, we're gonna have bank desert soon because there's going to be no presence of FPOS machines. If there are FPOS machines, you won't be able to take out cash. That actually happened to me a few days back. I noticed. I'm going to post a video about it on Ralphe.co.nz. I walked around my local neighborhood, and there's trash on the FPOS terminals. It's unkept. They just don't care anymore
Oh my
because
God,
they're
Ralphie,
retraining everyone to go digital. Yeah,
Ralphie, can you put a sign up outside your house, like a big sign with two posts on each side, like a big one, and saying "Welcome to New Zealand," because the whole world's going to become like California, or
man.
America's going to become like California, and New Zealand is
Yeah.
going to start heading that way, with the trash, the litter, the homelessness, and
Yeah.
it's just going to get worse.
Um, Check my channel because I went out with real footage and I actually walked around as an example of all the buildings on lease. It's just empty. Everything is going online. And soon to be by February 2021, there'll be less bank presence. So it's not like they're running out of money though, right?
No, the banks are trying to play the game. Well, it costs too much money to fund the bank. It costs too much money to count the money. It costs too much money to load the machines. It costs too much money to keep track of the money. But you
Yeah,
know what? It creates jobs, and now that's gone.
yeah, exactly. So if you don't have those startup jobs, I remember being a checkout boy back in the day, right? And now all done by the customers. And I remember, do you remember actually walking into a bank and asking for a transaction and all that? I'm
Mhm.
not trying to be old here, but you know what I mean? It's all online, no contact with other humans.
Mm. Did we lose you
You know
there
what
for
I
a
mean?
second, Ralphie? Are you getting
Yeah.
penalized?
No, no, it's all good.
I know it's Sunday afternoon. Are you going to church?
No, 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 not at church.
Oh, okay, you're not going to church. Okay, just making sure you're okay there.
No, I just got distracted for a second.
Okay.
Yeah, no, so you know what I mean? So it's all going to be online.
Uh, somebody in
But
the
yeah,
cook.
what's happening in Canada?
Well, Canada's rejoicing and celebrating. Do you remember the end of Star Wars? The return of no, sorry, the return of the Jedi when they blew up the Death Star, and all those
Yep.
planets were
Um,
rejoicing and celebrating.
Yeah, yep.
Well, that's Canada. Canada's one of those parties and rejoicing, and they finally got him out of the racist is gone, and they don't understand now what's going to happen because there's a clause in the Canadian NAFTA in the NAFTA agreement where any one of the governments of Mexico, Canada, and the United States could investigate any other one for corruption, right? And
Mm.
yeah, and Canadian government is breathing a big sigh of relief today. Big win for the Canadian Parliament today. Yeah.
Don't you feel though? I'm just thinking about this, right? Don't you feel it's all sort of smoke and mirrors? Because even though a lot of people look good on paper, like you say before, everyone's cash poor though, right? but everyone looks good on paper, especially if you own a house or if your bank owns your house.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. But
Because
okay.
you know, yep.
But it's going to go back to square one. No one's standing up against China, and it's going to get worse.
Well, they got drones now in Australia.
Yes, they have backdoor access from the Chinese Communist Party.
Yeah.
So we got that information over
from.
Yeah.
But yeah, no. At least everyone looks good on paper. At least the economy looks good on paper.
Mm-hmm.
Sorry, that's sarcasm again. If you're not picking that up.
Well, everyone's house broke right now. So you know what I'm saying?
Yeah, that's what I mean. Yeah, absolutely. You know how the banks really want you to take out a credit card, for example.
Mm-hmm.
You know, they always extend your credit. You know, especially if you're borrowing, they extend your credit more and more. That's happening with housing. Everyone's using it as an EFTPOS machine. Mm-hmm. So even though everyone's looks good on paper because their house price keeps going up, it's almost like it's a carrot at the end of the stick to try and motivate people to borrow more and more, and that's all it is.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Well, yeah, ATM machines.
So
housing. We had a whole episode of trends in the housing market 2.5 years ago, where is my home the ATM machine, and people were calling in and saying, "Yeah, my neighbor bought a boat, my neighbor bought this, and my other neighbor went to Greece for 3 months, and my this and that," and then they're using the money from their homes to make them look like big shots.
Well, do you know why though? Do you know why the game is so perfect, especially if you're a bank?
Because the manipulated interest rate so low.
Not even that.
Mm-hmm.
It's just as long as people are borrowing, it's all about the interest payments. That's how they live, right?
Well, everybody's on a treadmill is what it is.
Yeah, that too. But it's all about, hey, as long as we got you for 20, 30 years and you're giving us interest payments,
mm-hmm.
That's all it is. So, wake up, people.
I'm just concerned about I don't know who's going to stand up. I mean, I'm just trying to think. Somebody in the comments said maybe Russia. I don't know. Is Russia going to stand in? What's going to happen with the peace talks in North Korea? You know, now going forward, anything that goes wrong in this next administration, they're going to blame it on the previous. And anything that goes good, the previous administration won't exist.
See, the thing with politics is it's, like you say, you've been saying this before, it's a reality TV show, mm-hmm. regardless of who's got center stage. I just don't have much faith in it. So you got to sort of focus on your own efforts and your own, you know what I mean, household core systems, like, you know, being out of debt and things like that, because regardless of who's in power, I mean, it's just all. Do you know that quote by Mark Twain? If voting really mattered, they wouldn't let us do it. If voting really made it.
But I think in America, somewhat it does matter.
Are you familiar with that quote?
As much as, like, okay, Argentina, all these other countries, okay, it's America, right? Because the highest rank in the American military is the president, right? That's the highest ranking officer in the military. Now, you got Joe Biden now, who's the highest-ranking military officer in the world now.
Yeah. Well, it's choosing the lesser evil of the two, though, right? Because I mean, I know a lot of people are pro-Trump, but he wasn't a saint. He was all about
he wasn't
his
a
family
saint.
and that.
I'm not saying he was a saint. I'm saying he stood up against China. No one's going to stand up against China now.
Well, yep. Well, we'll see what happens, but I mean, that's what I mean, though. Regardless who's got center stage, I just feel like, as Mark Twain would say, you know, if it really mattered, they wouldn't let us do it. Because I think if you have the illusion of voting, so if, you know, voting for your favorite team every 4 years, mm-hmm. that's just enough to stop rioting and things like that, you know, to stop people from revolting. In a day when, you know,
I see where you're coming from on this.
Would actually.
Yeah, I
Yeah,
totally see your angle on this. I totally see your angle on that, and it makes perfect sense too, right? You got to keep the dog and pony show going too, right? But still, man, I mean,
yeah. Just give enough people, just give enough people the illusion of empowerment, but really the script's been been written for you already. That's just how I feel. Because if you think be a student of history, right? If there were back in the day, if there were politicians that lied, you would tar them and put feathers on them,
tar and feather. That's what they did in
or you
Canada.
would actually there would there were actual repercussions, right?
Hmm.
But now, if you're a big criminal, if you're too big to fail and you're a big criminal, you can only create a bigger heist to pull it off, right?
Hmm.
So it's a heist within a heist, heightened heist. That's how I feel is what we're up to now, is that there's just so much crime at the top that can only go bigger.
Hmm. Hmm.
That's why we're living in such a, the yeah, that's just how I feel. What do you reckon?
We got Beyond the Pale saying, Mike, you're selling out. It has to be a group effort against China. No, I understand that. But there's no group against China now. You know what I'm saying? We got BC Matrix
Yeah.
saying the revolt is coming. Ben Savage saying silver is abundant enough to be an industrial metal. Anthony Ruvalakamba says, you think Trump debt is a load? Wait for Biden. Sean is saying, you get to choose who owns you, LOL, and you don't even get that. Sandman is
Yeah.
saying in the comments, Mike, Biden hasn't won. The MSM is getting ahead of the election fraud to cast doubt into the zombies when the voter fraud is exposed and Trump wins. This is Russia/Ukraine 2.0 piped piper tactic. Woo!
Interesting comments there, guys. But I'm going to remind everyone of a quote that I heard when I was at a charity serving some bankers in 2013, and it's always stuck with me. Always. And the quote goes, to prepare a nation for war, you must first instill in everyday life hatred, anger, fear, racism, and divide. So I heard this when they were talking at a closed off sort of charity and things. And we all know the elites love charity because it's a good tax dodge, right?
Mm-hmm.
But anyways, what I'm saying is this monologue was of a ritual on stage, like they used actors and dancers and things like that. And see, they love rituals. Everything is to do with rituals. They just love that. That's why everything's pre-scripted, 20 years war gamed. And the whole elections thing is a ritual.
Mm-hmm. All right, Ralphie. It looks like you're freezing out there. Oh, we lost you. Ralphie, you there? Looks like we lost Ralphie. He froze up there for a second there. All right, folks, you are tuned in to Mike in the Night. Mike in the Night. It's 3 a.m. and something is moving you.